Dzień dobry. Praktyki taneczne od wieków w wieloraki sposób kategoryzowały rzeczywistość. Podobnie nauki o tańcu i refleksja nad tańcem w różnych wątkach i w różnych wymiarach interpretowały świat. Dzisiejsza konferencja tworzy konstelację zbudowaną wokół problematyki władzy. Dzisiejsza konferencja zatytułowana Prawo tańca, czy też Prawo do tańca. Witam bardzo serdecznie organizatorów konferencji, Fundację Ciało, Umysł, z którą Instytut Sztuki Polskiej Akademii Nauk współpracuje po raz pierwszy i już dziś w tej chwili bardzo dziękuję za pomysł, za ideę i za organizację naszego spotkania. Dziękuję Fundacji i dziękuję pani doktor Joannie Szymajdzie, naszej koleżance instytutowej, za to dzisiejsze spotkanie. Życzę państwu udanych i sobie udanych obrad i wielu ważnych przemyśleń. Witam.
Dziękuję bardzo pani profesor. Jest też z nami Edyta Kozak, prezeska Fundacji Ciało, Umysł, która, Edyta, chciałabyś powitać gości, czy... Dzień dobry, dobrze. Dzisiaj jako fotograf wita wszystkich bardzo serdecznie, tak. Proszę Państwa, tylko tytułem organizacyjnym. Na stoliczku czekają takie karteczki, bardzo prosimy o ich podpisanie. Jest to zgoda na używanie wizerunku, ponieważ filmujemy i robimy zdjęcia i potrzebujemy takiej zgody od Państwa, więc będę bardzo wdzięczna za podpis, tak, za autograf. I zapraszam naszą pierwszą prelegentkę, naszego gościa specjalnego, Dianę Niepce, która jest choreografką, performerką, artystką, również autorką tekstów książki autobiograficznej i jest nam bardzo miło, że zgodziła się przyjąć zaproszenie do wystąpienia w takiej nietypowej trochę roli i pogodzić właśnie tutaj te nasze perspektywy naukowe i artystyczne i zaprezentuje w formie takiej performance lecture swoje przemyślenia na temat eksperymentującego ciała. Diana, the floor is yours. Thank you. Almost.
So it's working. So everyone can hear me, right?
Czy jest to słyszane? Tak, tu mamy również tłumaczenie oczywiście, jeżeli jest.
Dzień dobry. Sorry, I don't speak very good Polish, but I come here very often. I also improvise a bit, so I hope the translation can keep Arthur will do a great job, I think. So feel free to stay or to go out or to eat or laugh and cough because it's a safe place, very close to a rehearsal of mine, with many words and many questions, like any essay or rehearsal. Like if we were together in similarity or difference, is intimate in the sense of a dialogue as a diary. So welcome to my nest of wasps, the diary of my humiliation, discrimination field of my favorites, aware of always being too far from the utopic body. In all my creations, I wonder if this will be the last, if this is the suicide of my career. This thing will be no different. I've been there on the suicide of my career, on the day I fell, when I couldn't dance anymore, or even commit the suicide. But I'm a writer, so I will write about this in my next book, The Notes of a Diary of a Quadriplegic Performer. One day I read this book. A quadriplegic went to dinner with the main character. And in the end, he says he's going to take a cab home. But he goes to the train station and kills himself. I can't fall into a train. With my luck, I probably will stay alive. Without 2 arms and with fox needles turning me into a man, as they still do today. So I know stories in which suicide was a better choice, like eating a steak that rips your guts, or and they forgot you in the ER, being raped and thrown from a balcony. When the paramedics think that you are having a panic attack and leave you on the ground completely paralyzed. When your ex-boyfriend locked you in the 8th floor and you try to escape through the window. Or when a horse sits on you. And now you claim, but you are so good, thin, with an anemia and 35 kilos, with work and 2 burnouts per year. And then you ask, don't you feel the privilege to become a paraplegic? Yes, someone asked me that on a radio show. But now you are famous. Yes, I became famous because I broke my neck. And my friend says, sometimes they talk to you as if you didn't exist before the accident. In my Facebook account, I receive a lot of messages. It looks like a self-help book. You are a warrior. Keep strength. You go, girl. I believe in you. You are such an inspiration. Many achievements. Keep fighting your struggle. You are such an example. Great woman. Yeah, this is my story as a human being. I live in a world that doesn't desire me. How can someone say to a person that someone like me shouldn't exist? And this is a very hard topic at 10 a.m. in the morning. What I wanted most was to be normal, to do what I used to do when I didn't feel normal, despite feeling and doing the same as normal people do. When I wasn't happy, despite feeling and doing the same things that happy people do. What is a happy person? Yesterday, someone with autism spectrum said, life is simple, having a house where to sleep, people who love us. Yes, it's all true, but the world is a horrible place. I was also happy when I felt the stool after becoming a quadriplegic. I spend a lot of time pretending I'm happy, but I'm happy if you are happy. It's nice to have happy people around us. At least they don't have our mind. Disabled are not a bad word. Disabled people can cry too. Disabled people do not exist so that normalized people feel better about their disability or abilities. Disability is a term connected to a medical paradigm, observed as a form of the abnormal. To be disabled, you have no choice. You are diagnosed. In order to apply a norm, one must ultimately suspend its application to produce the perverse irony of exception. Now, speaking of exceptions, I am so incredible disabled artist that in the end of a performance, someone of the audience asked to the production why they didn't put a normal dancer playing a disabled person in my solo. So if I was in an audition, I asked myself if I would be disabled enough to play the character. What is to be a normal ballerina? How do you know if you are in or out? How you can have the audacity to tell me to not show up to an event because there is tabs on it or it's not accessible? And how do you respond gently when someone tells you, do you think it's easy? Being with you one weekend, it's a nightmare. No one can handle it. You shouldn't judge your friends for not being able to handle it. You think I can disconnect from knowing how you were before and seeing how you are now? It kills me. Or even, why do you want to dance? Sometimes we have to give things up. Or did you think you were going to dance forever? Sometimes it's not matching to your body. It was my massage therapist that says that. Humiliate is talking about violence. Why is always the humiliated when talking about humiliation? I want to think about the space of conflict and where does the bitter violence come from. It's exposure necessary from the observer to put social norms to test. Poetic violence revolutionized violence. Angelica Little says that. Diana will say, I want to stop feeling cooked inside of that animal and that inside, in the epicenter of a fire. Indore. In my last talk, someone told me that his cat died in this last talk. And then this person told me he was sleeping inside a washing machine. And this took me. Nothing is ever enough because I'm always indifferent from the normals of this world. It's dark, it's night, and Diana is afraid. She needs to throw up, but she can't help it. She's agitated, and there is a security guard approaching her. She looks at him with the tube stuck up to her stomach. She feels like she's suffocating. If you don't calm down, I'll tie you up. He must not be a security guard. He cleans up my vomit and sticks another tranquilizer. He must be a nurse after all. Here, there is no fiction or poetry. Victims of massification of the norm. Poetic is born from the order of this utopian butcher, where the only representative possibility arises from pain, and this is the spectacle, the represent of bitterness, private in public domain. Now, I would like to ask a volunteer. I'm a performer, so this is kind of interactive. Sorry for the translation. Someone? Thank you for being brave. You want a chair?
Depends on what
It's just to read it. Usually I do this on stage, so it's more interactive than this. So can you read the person?
In a show by an inclusive dance company, the normalized dancer is asked how it felt to interact with the dancer with a disability.
It was someone who worked in an institution with people with disabilities.
Imagine I live here and a stranger on the street says, "You are so brave for leaving home." Most of them had already given up.
I think they should do that because this is very fucked up.
I'm going to pray for you.
Thank you.
You have to work hard. You have to work hard.
I think this person will be my mother-in-law.
If I had to live like you, I would kill myself. I never imagined sex.
Oh, this is a good one. I actually don't because I only fell in love with stupid people, so the relationship is already dead before starting.
Don't give your mother too much trouble.
It was the Uber driver when he saw my mom helping me to the step.
Are you better?
No, I'm still silly.
I know you. Are you walking yet? God has given you a unique opportunity. Some are born this way. Take advantage of it.
So, I have an obsession for my work. And I would like to ask you, what do you see when you see me? Is it different if you see me in a wheelchair than if you see me in this chair? Some days my disability dismays me. Being a revolutionary of the norm can be painful. when you have no choice, when you are always alone. Obsession number 2. I would like you to close your eyes if you can, without fall asleep, but you can have the eyes open also. The body hurts, always. Arms stuck, sew in the wrong place. I lift them up. They tear the shoulder blades. The bits of the sheets cutting the skin. Tight, flattened, press it, tremble, all the while. The arms crowd the diaphragm. In a corset, I can't breathe. Inflated feet with the toes in the wrong place. Tense, dance, stuck, sew in the wrong place. With the nails torn out in cold blood. Strangle your legs. You can open your eyes. I exist in the daily search of understanding the body outside of the norm. If there is one thing that annoys, it's the boldness of the norm. And it creates the story of my frustration, where nothing is enough. The body too misunderstood and trapped in the world's lament, in the fears of sarcasm. It's very performative, this talk. I need both. Okay. Super. I should have the dog also. Okay. No, it's fine. It's also very interesting. And now I don't know where I was, but it's hard to explain what pain is to those who don't believe in pain. It's like a dream. This is so interesting. No, it's like that. Okay. Turning plain, not plain, pain into pleasure, and in this moment now it sounds very kinky. It's not like a Cronenberg's movie or something else. Pain and I are all acquaintances, like we tolerate each other. But I am experienced in painting impossible scenarios, like the game of horrors. When people say it could be better, I only think it could be worse. What is the worst thing that could happen here? Can you imagine? For me, it will be everyone will run away in a fire and I will stay stuck because there is a step somewhere. And I can't, so I need to crawl in order to run away. So, to the radio guy that asked me about the privilege of becoming quadriplegic, I was an artist much before than becoming quadriplegic. Obsession number 3, the body begins in the memory. I exist in the experiment of understanding the body, understanding through the unique place of its memory. I watch it unravel in the place of it inhabits, through the knowledge of its history and appropriation. Body home, body which claims its specific place. Body organs which does not refrain the shape of its purpose. Body past which relates with the world through its biography, and it's not an imperfect copy of another body. The body is not the same as it was the last decade. Still works with intelligence of those early times. Even after being forced to reinvent its space. I want to burn the victim's heart. I have lived too long in a standard body. I couldn't understand. Now there is a project aware of this ancient body memory, the virtuous one, the ones that agreed with the hierarchy of the performative body, reducing dancing to the emotion, and agreeing natively to his annulment of his own identity. I punished myself. Unaware, I inflicted his insignificance upon himself, a slave of his circumstances, envying but I was not until I remembered. I want to kill this ancient dream of surviving the body with this aristocracy, so that the soul can be rewarded with transmigration. I incidentally understood the importance of failing this dream and the marrow, mother of cells that reached the genesis of the movement. The world tells us the walk is in its legs, and just like that, it transforms the essential into a secret, watching the body from within. The norm dictates a pattern on the making the functionality of the bodies, fabricating them in this image, and is necessary to revolutionize the norm in the order to concept of symbiosis of identity cultures, reframing normality concept through a path beyond identity, collapsing genetic preference, and the body myth of hypernormality, the myth that looks body in only one shape. So I would like to show a video, and I'm cutting a bit the text because we have a short time. And the video is presenting the outside of the normal body.
This is a response to Cocky Dave. I've been meaning to write it since October when I first saw your video on disability characteristics and political correctness, but other stuff got in the way. I mostly agreed with you on what you were saying, but there were a few things that being disabled from birth and particularly cognitively disabled from birth I think I've noticed, but you haven't. Although oddly enough it doesn't really change my conclusions I draw from the conclusions you draw.
Part of the video, the water doesn't symbolize anything. I am just interacting with the water as the water interacts with me. Far from being purposeless. The way that I move is an ongoing response to what is around me. Ironically, the way that I move when responding to everything around me is described as being in a world of my own, whereas if I interact with a much more limited set of responses and only react to a much more limited part of my surroundings, people claim that I am opening up to true interaction with the world. They judge my existence, awareness, and personhood on which of a tiny and limited part of the world I appear to be reacting to. The way I naturally think and respond to things.
First you have to figure out how to stand up. Don't be fooled by my outward appearance. There is a lot of complicated planning going on in my head. This requires finding a lot of body parts and willing them to move in the right order without any external cues to guide them. This is not easy or fast.
Universal characteristic of the children in the deafblind unit of Meaning Street School is their ability to seemingly close themselves off from the outside world and to be unaffected by any input coming from others. It is almost as if very little exists outside of themselves. Because of this barrier, our first step is to gain some entry into their world, to have the children acknowledge our presence, accept it, and eventually welcome it. As dancer and musician, our tools are movement and sound. None of the children in the deafblind unit speak with words, yet they have much to tell us about themselves. By moving as they do, making the sounds they make, we gather information, their preferences in terms of sound and movement, fast or slow, hard or soft, energetic or gentle, their boundaries in terms of touching and closeness, what they will allow, what they like, what they won't allow, what they don't like.
You are an evil man. We are evil men. This is evil. I am an evil woman. I have sex. You have sex. We have sex. This is sex. I love. You love. We love. This is love. I hate. You hate. We hate. This is hating. I like to eat. You like to eat. We like to eat. This is eating. I like to drink. You like to drink. We like to drink. This is drinking. You don't want to die. We don't want to die. This is fear of death.
My sons are unusual, and they are absolutely adorable. And they're very bright and very... Well, they love me, I suppose. And they can be quite cruel, too. They do actually say to me, now get in and make our dinner. I have had that a few times.
First of all, she's a really slow driver. We can't make it up to Devon in like 9 hours, like half the day, which really annoys me. I mean, you know, my dad kind of zooms through and he gets there in like, 2 hours. You know, like for instance, today actually, she said she'd give me some money, and then when we got to school, she'd completely forgotten her purse. She doesn't really think it. She's really intelligent and clever, but she kind of like failed her GCSEs.
Alex is a very, very loving boy, and very bright and very caring, really. However, he can have terrible fits of temper, and if he gets jealous or a fit of low self-esteem, it comes out in a violent way towards me, and abusive too.
I love my mother, but she can be annoying. She's a loving person. I think she cares a lot about us. And
For a long time, non-disabled people have made money from the exploitation of disabled people. Patronizing practices in the art world and elsewhere were normal, enabled by the fact that many disabled people were hindered from getting the education and experience required to be strong artists. Only a few made it through the obstacle course of an ableist world.
Can I ask you a question? What happened to your legs? Were you born like that, or did you have them chopped off? Do you have an arsehole, or do you shit into a bag? How do you go to the toilet? Can you masturbate? Seriously, I want to know. What's this lump on your back? Do you blame God for being born? What are these? They're stumps. Do you have any friends? Have you ever been in a fight? Have you? If you hit me first, it's okay if I hit you back. Isn't it? Because you're a man. Do you trust me? Because I don't trust you.
People were more scared concerning my body. They didn't want to see this kind of body on stage, but also in the streets in Germany. It's a different look people had than like in France. I understand only when I think about this ideology of the Nazis with the body ideal. Maybe before I couldn't accept my body. Today I accept my body. I don't want to have another. I don't think about it because it would be absurd to dream another body.
Supermasochistic, cystic fibrosis. He should have died when he was young, but he was too precocious. How much longer he will live is anyone's prognosis. Supermasochistic, cystic fibrosis. I'm gonna die. I'm the little and I'm gonna die. I'm the little, I'm gonna die. I'm the little, I'm gonna die. When he was born, the doctor said he had this bad disease. It gave him awful stomach aches and made him cough and wheeze. Any normal person would have buckled from the pain, but Super Bob got twisted, now he's into whips and chains. I'm the little, I'm gonna die. And you get the idea of that before I kill myself. I'm the little, I'm gonna die. 40 years have come and gone, and Bob is still around. He's tied up by his ankles and he's hanging upside down. A lifetime of infection, and his lungs all filled with phlegm. The CF would have killed him if it weren't for...
Once when I was drunk, I tried another song. My father called me and said, "Us with boys, this is very wrong." I spent all summer nights longing for those many days. I yearned a lot, cause I felt so motherfucking hot. And here I am, and I don't care. I'm in a wheelchair where river clothes with longer tiny hair. I didn't see the streets around, can't possibly be wrong. I was home. This is where I belong, where I belong.
Thank you very much, Diana, for this touching and yet optimistic lecture performance. I would like to a little bit, I think, at the end. Chciałabym zaproponować małą zmianę programu z uwagi na to, że właściwie już zużyliśmy czas na dyskusję, żeby teraz zadać Dianie pytania, jeżeli Państwo macie, bo myślę, że potrzebujemy wszyscy odrobinę przerwy po tym wystąpieniu i wrócimy do kolejnych wystąpień za chwilę, więc zachęcam. Dear Diana, I propose that we change a little bit the schedule and now we do the discussion with you and then a little break, because it was very strong and I think everyone needs a little break before continuation, but I would like to ask people to ask, the audience to ask questions now if you're fine with that. Także zachęcam, jeżeli ktoś z Państwa chciałby zadać jakieś pytanie, to bardzo proszę. Albo podzielić się wrażeniami. To jeżeli nie ma pytań, to można też w bardziej prywatnej atmosferze na kawie. Zapraszam na 15 minut przerwy. Kawa, herbata jest po drugiej stronie korytarza i tam można również porozmawiać z Dianą bardziej prywatnie i zapraszam za 15 minut na kontynuację.